You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Disney's Young Woman and the Sea, now in select theaters.
I've decided to swim the English Channel.
A woman? I believe she'll die in that water.
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Joachim Roning comes the must-see true story. Daisy Ridley.
I go to England or die trying.
Trudy, you don't have to do this.
Don't let anyone take me out of the water, no matter what.
Disney's Young Woman and the Sea, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now in select theaters.
This episode is brought to you by Essentia. A better you starts with better hydration. Essentia is on a mission to inspire people to do what matters most. Their proprietary ionization process transforms water from any source into ionized alkaline water, providing water that's 99.9% pure with a pH of 9.5 or higher. Essentia Overachieving H2O, the #1 ionized alkaline water. Shop now.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name's Ken, in the studio with Jeff and Neal.
Ken,
What's going on?
nothing too much.
What's up, fellas?
Wearing a hat today. I never wear hats, but I wore one today.
Magpies?
It is a Magpies hat, yeah.
Yep. Of Australia.
Of Australia.
Carlton?
No
Carlton.
Carlton.
Who's
No.
Carlton?
Oh, the rival, Ken. I
Carlton,
can't believe I said that to
I'm
him.
sorry. It's Rich. What are they? Come on.
Well,
Richmond
Carlton's the
Tigers.
Blues.
All right, help me out.
Richmond Tigers, yeah.
No, who are the Magpies?
Collingwood.
Collingwood. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Carlton makes really good toilet paper for Collingwood fans.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Well, Matt is not here. He's directing a new commercial for AMC that does not feature Nicole Kidman. It's going to run before the new movies, you know?
Oh, nice. Is it starring Piper Perabo?
That could be.
Okay.
You know what I was thinking the other day? One day the Nicole Kidman AMC pre-roll will end. But I just don't see that day in my future anytime soon.
Probably not as long as we're alive.
Some people know what I'm talking about, and if you know, you know. But we got a great game set up for us today, right?
Yeah, and just like the AMC ads, every episode of Triviality, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. So that's... Yeah, so for anyone who's seen a movie recently, you probably know what we're talking about. But anyway, we have some great guests. I want to introduce our guest host. He hosted a really great episode called the IKEA Escape Plan that wasn't too long ago, and we were so excited to have him back from Colorado Springs. Alex, how are you today?
Doing good. Glad to be back.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And like I said, we had a really great time on your last game. And I remember Matt wasn't here for that one either, so we apologize Matt isn't here. But we're excited to play your game. Why don't you fill us in a little bit about what you're up to, and then maybe the T-shirt that you're wearing that we've been talking about before we started recording.
Yeah, so I moved to Colorado Springs in August of last year, hence all the boxes. Currently in the process of looking to buy a house now, but since then, been teaching music by day and writing trivia by night, and going to some awesome concerts. I've got a Ken Mode shirt on right now, which everybody seems to love. Coolest concert I've been to since I moved up here. You guys know the Stanley Park Hotel, or the Stanley Hotel over in Estes Park? Yeah, so Uncle Ass and the Deadbeats did 3 nights there, and I got to stay at the Stanley Hotel.
Oh.
I think it was actually the week the episode came out. And Estes Park is just absolutely beautiful. And, of course, it's the hotel that inspired The
Very
Shining.
cool.
That's really
Sounds like a
nice.
great experience.
Yeah, so you weren't a dull boy that night.
Not at all. But my room was literally right next to the Stephen King suite where he stayed that night when he was inspired to write it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm sure you heard the vacuum going around and a lot of white powder was getting picked up, but yeah.
Still in the vents.
Still in the vents. But no, we're super excited. I'd love to stay there. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, thank you for joining us. And we have to have a player today. Matt isn't here. And if you're going to get someone to replace Matt, we should go to our sister country, as I'm going to start calling it now, Australia.
Just making the call.
Very excited to have her back from Ocean Grove, a Patreon supporter, Rules Guy impersonator, Mel Brent. How are you, Mel?
Hi, good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being back. And just remind folks just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm in Ocean Grove now, but I grew up in Melbourne. and I'm a paramedic. I work in Geelong, of Cats fame. I do go for the Melbourne Demons, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
A couple of kids who are both at school at the moment. It's midday here, so house to myself.
That's great.
Happier to be here.
Play a little trivia. Don't have to worry about the kids being here. And Ken's got a little bit of a Max Gone look to him. I guess he's not as tall, but yeah.
Is that a footballer?
He's on the Demons. Yeah, he's a really good guy, very good player.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not as tall.
He's a ruck. He's like the center kind of. He's a big guy.
Oh,
Sounds like
definitely
me.
not as tall.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mel. And Mel, you said you wanted to partner with Ken today. Is that right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. So how about you tell what your team name is?
Sure. So it's a team name that we use pub trivia down here. Most of my trivia times, it's two-man band.
All right.
And no meaning.
Two-man band. Well, we had a lot of trouble coming up with a suitable other name. But Jeff, what are we going to be?
Yeah, Alex is wearing a shirt from a pretty sweet band, as we mentioned, Ken Mode. So we're going to be the Jeff Mode today. So
enjoy the silence.
Yes,
we know the answers to the questions, and you don't.
Well, let's throw it to a rules read, and we'll see what we get.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
Cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
If you don't specify, it's going to be Darren.
Well, Darren did his best Australian accent. I don't think it was that great, but it's going to put us in a decent position moving forward here. But Alex, we're going to throw it to you. It's your game, and we're really excited to play today.
Thanks. So before we start, I'd like to dedicate this episode to my friend Kevin Stewart, who unfortunately lost his battle with cancer on Valentine's Day this year. Kevin was a guitarist that I met and worked with while we were both in college together. He was the type of person who would always put a smile on people's faces, and even though he was a talented musician, he was always down to earth and super humble. He had a band called State of Flux, a solo album called Supernature. Highly encourage listeners to check them out on Spotify. If you're a fan of instrumental music or prog metal bands like Animals as Leaders, Cynic, Gordian Knot, they'll more than likely be up your alley. If that's not your style, it'd be awesome if you could share his music with someone you know who would like it. Even though Kevin's no longer with us, it would be beautiful to see his music continue to live on. Thanks, everyone. So question number 1, film. The 2024 film Mean Girls is based on the 2017 Broadway musical based on the 2004 film of the same name. Despite having a mostly new cast, Tina Fey reprises her role as Miss Norbury, and what other SNL alum reprises their role as Principal Duval?
We can lock in.
Are you a big Mean Girls fan, Mel?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh, that's
I'm a big
good.
SNL fan too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go ahead and take this one then.
Oh, well, I'll have to check with you first. But I think it's Tim Meadows, is that right?
I do agree. It would be the ladies' man.
So in Australia, instead of Saturday Night Live, is it just like church hour or
It's like
what?
Sunday afternoon live. No, it's actually the only place that I get my global news because it's the only form of kind of news that I watch is SNL. Terrible.
Yeah, we agree. We think it's also the hilarious Tim Meadows.
Yep, you're both right. Definitely think Tim Meadows is one of the most underrated cast members on SNL of all time. There was that bit, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where he does the Thanksgiving song.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
With Phil Hartman.
Yeah, he's great. That's like my favorite cast ever, I think. That.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of which, question number 2 is on television. On the Hulu series The Bear, the character Neil Fack is played by what celebrity chef, known for his distinct tattoos and frequent collaboration with Vice Media?
So, Mel, I watched the show, and I can picture the guy, but I have no idea whatsoever what the actor's name is.
For real?
None.
I literally just rewatched the whole lot for the second time because it's amazing. And I had no idea he was a celebrity chef. That's so funny.
Should we just go with a Lucky Johnson?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I know, he has a bunch of restaurants. I've seen a bunch of cooking videos with him. He's got a restaurant that's like really minimalist. Yeah, I'm not going to pull it. I'll know it once I hear it. I'm going to have to tap on this one, unless you want to say the Swedish Chef.
I mean, I'm always good for a solid joke answer. So.
All right, so we'll say Chef Jürgen.
All right. This guy is a Canadian celebrity chef, and it's kind of ironic that in The Bear he didn't play a chef. His name's Matty Matheson.
And he's on the Grubhub commercials or DoorDash. One of the two.
One of the two, yeah. Yeah, that is funny. He doesn't play a chef though. His character is really funny though on the show, and they're filming right now, 2 seasons in a row simultaneously.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I binge watched the entire thing over a weekend. It's a great show. Except I see what's his name who plays the main character, and I just constantly see a depressed Gene Wilder.
I think a lot
Jeremy
of people do.
Allen
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now we're gonna have Cousin as a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So moving on to question number 3 in literature. With bands like Death, Ghost, Iron Maiden, and Queen citing them as an influence, what English prog rock band is named after the antagonist, the Charles Dickens novel Great Expectations?
Well, Mel, I've gotten as far as naming a English prog rock band that sounds like it could be the name of a person or character. That said, I don't know anything about the novel. But if you're at a loss, I have a decent answer.
Yeah, I don't have anything really. I feel like maybe if I heard it, I might know it.
Okay.
What do you got?
I think we'll lock in.
Yeah, this one, Jeff. I know only like 1 or 2 characters from Great Expectations. I know Miss Havisham is a really famous character, but I doubt there's a band named Miss Havisham. It's just not a great name.
I don't know any other characters from it, so I think that's our best guess. I mean, you want to just say Havisham?
That's fine. I know there's one that starts with a C, but I could never pull that. I haven't read this book. So yeah, I'm fine with just Havisham, I guess.
Mel, what do you think about King Crimson?
Oh, sounds good. Sounds like he could be an
Sounds
evil
villainous,
guy.
right?
It's very villainous. Yeah,
All right,
very
we're going to go with
very seedy.
King Crimson.
This one was a bit of a stumper. Yeah, they're a big name in prog rock, but this band is Uriah Heep.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those bands that I think everybody's heard of, but they couldn't really name a song unless they're a diehard fan.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely not Havisham. Not a very good band name. Or Miss Havisham, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Maybe someone will start one.
Watch, one of the listeners is going to start a band with that name.
Good luck. Do it.
So question number 4, professions. According to a recent study, what female-only profession is aging out rapidly, with the average age of the occupation rising to an astounding 80 years old in the United States? Some notable people who have held this profession include Hildegard von Bingen and an Albanian woman whose birth name is Angizi Bohaksiu.
All right, we had a couple ideas here. I've recognized the name, but I just don't think my answer would suffice because it's open to anyone. So we're going to go with Jeff's guess.
Okay. Mel, any initial thoughts?
Well, when I think of an old Albanian woman, I think of, could it be Mother Teresa? Is she Albanian?
I think so.
So what was her job? The Mother Superior? I don't understand.
She's probably a nun.
That religion. A nun?
Probably.
Just nun? Is that a job? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
To some, yeah.
Nun.
Hildegard von Bingen might be the real life Sound of Music.
Oh,
nun
yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
maybe.
that. Yeah, or the
Just a
flying
guess.
nun.
But yeah, or the flying nun. Yeah, let's go with nun.
Yeah, I love nun. Yeah.
And that's one of the only. That's why it can be female only because the church makes its own rules. So
Yeah.
I wrote down initially music because I thought Hildegard von Bingen was like a composer or some sort of musician, but I don't know of a niche area of that. But Jeff wrote none as well, so we're actually going to go with the same answer.
Yeah, Hildegard von Bingen held a lot of roles. She's best known as a composer, but she also worked in this profession, and you guys kind of caught on to it. Angizi Bohakshu is the birth name of Mother Teresa, so yes, the answer was none.
Oh, nice. Okay, at least that's good. So it was music that she was involved in. Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't like the real life Sound of Music, like you said, but she was like a older. She was a nun / scientist / composer. She did a lot of things in her life.
Wow.
Maybe we need a new Sound of Music, but instead of
dough, and then there were none.
Well, that I was gonna say instead of a dough, a deer, it's like prog rock that she's teaching the kids.
There you go.
I think you just described the plot of the School of Rock, right?
Exactly, yeah. But it takes place, though, in 1940s Switzerland or Germany, whatever.
Question number 5 is sports. In the Big Four of American sports, so the MLB, NBA, NHL, and NFL, within a margin of 1, how many current teams are based out of Canadian cities?
All right, Neil, I think I got them all here and close enough to be plus or minus 1, I hope. So we'll lock in.
Yeah, so the hockey teams are going to be Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal. And then I think there's the Blue Jays for baseball, and there's the Raptors for basketball. I think there's no football, so I think we should go with 9. And then we get wiggle room of 1.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And I forgot about Ottawa Senators, so we said 8. But
So with 9 and 8, you're both correct. The correct answer is 9. So like you said, you have the Blue Jays in the MLB, the Raptors in the NBA, and then for the NHL, you have the Canucks, the Flames, the Oilers, the Jets, Maple Leafs, Senators, and Canadiens.
You visited Ottawa, didn't you?
I was in Calgary and Vancouver.
Oh, Calgary and Vancouver. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, after 5 questions, it's all tied up, 30-30, going into the second half of the first round.
All right. Question number 6, television. On the TV show Cheers, what is the name of the seafood restaurant located above the titular establishment, which shares its name with the last name of a rather appropriate American author?
We can lock in.
All right. So I'm not sure off the top of my head, as Neil is. It's almost like he wrote a book about the very subject or something. But Cheers takes place in Boston. So it's probably a Bostonian author.
Yeah, that helps me none. I don't know where people are from. Or could it be a seafood sounding surname or a beer sounding surname? Would also be appropriate, maybe.
Maybe like Melville's.
Oh yeah.
Because of the aquatic nature
Yeah,
of
it's
Melville's
very
work.
seafoody. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
I like that.
Yeah, on the menu next to whale, pain, depression, and loss, we said Melville's.
So, yes, you were both right. The correct answer was Melville's, named after Herman Melville.
Oh, sweet.
Nice, yeah.
You order one thing and they serve you up just a plate of symbolism.
I like that, yeah. And then there's a Starbucks inside as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So question number 7, animals. The Kirin is an East Asian mythological animal that is a mix between a dragon and a deer or horse. The word Kirin is also the Japanese word for what real-world animal first introduced to the country as that same mythical beast?
All right, we have a guess over here. We're going to lock in and see what happens.
Okay, so I speak quite a bit of Japanese. Unfortunately, this word is not in my vocabulary, but I can rule out a lot of animals probably. So if you have a hunch, I can maybe rule it out or rule it in.
I don't. Do you agree that we're looking for something that kind of looks like a dragon, deer, horse situation? Or do you think it's going to be totally not realm?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Maybe a bird, maybe a bird even, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a crow. Because there's a lot of crows.
Yeah, so I don't know if this was on air when they were making fun of my memory sometimes. My memory works really weird. I can't remember what I did yesterday or the day before, but I remember very distinct things from my past. And when my aunt would come with us to the zoo, I remember her saying Kieran. And I thought it was a giraffe, so that's what I went with.
That's it.
Yeah, Mel was on the right track of trying to combine a dragon, deer, horse into real life, and that's what they thought the giraffe was. So yeah, the answer is giraffe.
Well done, Neil.
Yeah, I'm just glad I remember that. That was, yeah.
And now that you mention it, I have come across that vocabulary and just didn't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 8 is video games. What 1986 Sega video game features a couple driving a Ferrari Testarossa through branching paths with a selectable soundtrack? The genre's soundtrack was so influential that the game's title would later become a placeholder title for the musical genre before it was later referred to as synthwave.
I don't know this one. It's a great question, and I feel bad not giving a proper answer, but should we just lock in something?
Yeah, let's just put down our best guess.
Okay. Mel, any ideas initially?
No, we're a Nintendo family.
Okay.
Which, sucks. This question.
I think it's too old, but there was a game called Spy Hunter. It kind of reminds me of driving the car down branching paths. I don't know if there's a couple, but it's one option, and it kind of sounds like a cool name for a genre.
I agree. That is a cool name for a genre. Yep.
I don't think it's right, but we're going to go Spy Hunter.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, we love the question. We just wrote down the word MIDI, thinking maybe it has MIDI in there somewhere. But yeah, we're at a loss.
Yeah, this I guess was a tough one. It's a pretty difficult game, but yeah, the game was called Outrun.
Oh, it's a cool name.
Yeah,
I've definitely heard that in the synthwave
one of those games where
realm too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's one of those games where I'm sure if you go on YouTube and watch somebody playing it or something, you'll be like, "Oh, that game." It's the one where if you crash the car, the couple gets knocked out, and then it just magically gets flipped over. So that brings us to question number 9: fictional characters. The 2018 music video for Drake's "I'm Upset" features Drake's character Jimmy Brooks returning to Degrassi Community School for a class reunion. In addition to cameos from the characters of Degrassi, The Next Generation, the video features 2 fictional characters from another established franchise who made cameos in 5 episodes of the show. Name both characters who appeared in this video, since it's almost impossible to name one without naming the other.
All right. I just have, for some reason, I know this one person talks about this show all the time, and I was always wondering why, so I'm assuming it's because he was on it. All right. We're going to lock in with a weird gut guess.
Anything for you, Mel?
I'm going to suggest something that's going to sound stupid. Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, maybe. I mean...
Is that ludicrous? It's kind of early for video, like cartoon cameos. But Degrassi.
I don't do Drake.
Yeah, I don't do Drake.
So I have no idea. It is a pair, and they do always come together, so
yeah.
I'm down for it.
Are there other pairs, Ernie and Bert? Who else could they be?
It could be Bert and Ernie. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to see Drake with children's characters, though. Let's go with Beavis and Butthead. I like the animated tie-in.
Sure.
So a long time ago,
you like Drake's music, Bert?
You like God's plan? A long time ago, when I first started Twitter, Kevin Smith was on Twitter all the time talking about Degrassi, and I had no idea why. And I'm just taking a guess here that maybe it was Jay and Silent Bob, because they have an established franchise.
Yeah, you nailed it. They were in a few episodes where they were filming a movie in Canada, but it was Jay and Silent Bob. So Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes.
Were they were just in character?
But I'm not going to feel bad about it.
They were in character as Jay and Silent Bob, literally selling weed to the principal of Degrassi.
Okay, I was just, because he always tweeted about it. I'm like, why is this guy watching the show so much? But he was in it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, he was in they were in 5 episodes or something. And yeah, check out the video, if for nothing else, just that clip. Then the end where, for some reason, the school catches on fire and they're just rapping in front of the building while everybody runs out. Question number 10, last question in the first half, is music. Sticking with the topic of Degrassi, The Next Generation, a majority of the show's episode titles are taken from the titles of popular music songs. The show's pilot takes its title from what 1972 Paul Simon song? He, in turn, got the title from a dish at a Chinese restaurant made from chicken and eggs, which makes it slightly more morbid when you think about it.
So these guys are locked in. I could just start naming Chinese food dishes, but I don't know if it'll get me to a Paul Simon song.
I feel the same way.
Should we just, egg foo young? He's like, I'm going to call a song this. It's delicious.
Chicken chow mein. And as for Paul Simon songs that are only Paul Simon and not Simon and Garfunkel, I'm not great on that.
Yeah.
Call Me Al. There's probably both of them. Me and Julio, Down by the Schoolyard.
I don't think that's Chinese dishes.
No, I don't think so.
All right, we'll just go with egg foo young.
Yeah, we wrote down egg foo young. Jeff, you wrote down more actual Paul Simon songs.
Yeah, we touched on me and Julio, Slip Sliding Away, but we just said Call Me Al. Classic Paul Simon.
I guess no points for this one. This was one of his earlier hits. And like I said, when you think about it as the title of, or I guess the name of a dish made of chicken and eggs, it does kind of make it more morbid. This is Mother and Child Reunion.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
Well, after the first round, the scores are tight, but they're still close, which is the same thing as being tight. But it's going to be two-man band with 40 and the Jeff mode at 60. So 60-40, nice split here.
Couple great polls.
Really
from
good
your
polls.
side of the table today.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, I'm just glad that I had a good memory and I was on Twitter 10 years ago to help me out there a little bit. But before we get to the swing round, we just wanted to say thank you to all of our patrons, including Mel, just for helping us out, helping us continue to grow. We're about to get rid of this old plastic table and just kind of sit in our own chairs, which might seem a little weird.
Lovely.
Yeah, I know. It's going to look a little weird on camera, I think, but I think people will be able to see us a little bit better. But more importantly, over at Patreon, you get a lot of great perks, but what we're really talking about and what we're excited about is not only almost getting to 600 patrons. We're on the road to 600. But Ken, for as little as $1 a month, you get all of these episodes, all the new ones, ad-free.
That's right.
And early.
Ad-free and early.
And early, which I think is a great deal. But more importantly, Jeff, for you and your expensive chai tea lattes with an extra burst of cinnamon, $5, which maybe you spend maybe every other day, maybe once a week, you can get 60 hours of bonus content plus 4 bonus episodes every month.
I could if I did.
That's true. I think you would. I think you'd like a chai latte. We'll have to try it one of these days. Yeah, I think you would. It's a nice spice.
I would trade a single chai latte for 3 days of streaming content.
It is a very good deal. And yeah, I mean, like Ken said, 4 episodes. You get 3 bonuses written by us, plus a Ask Me Anything crop drop every month. And yeah, we just appreciate it. So if you want to join us, go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcasts. But most importantly, if you're already on Patreon, you're not hearing this.
Congrats.
All right, Alex, what do we got for the swing round today?
I mean, I was going to go with IKEA or Death Metal Part 2, but go with something a bit more traditional. I call this one Names and Planes. I'm going to list off 10 airports that are named after people. For each one, I want you to tell me the city, not the country it is located in. And just a note, if the official airport title has the name of a city in it, it has been removed. So if I said Chicago O'Hare International Airport, I would say just O'Hare instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number 1, Ben Gurion International Airport. Number 2, John Lennon Airport. Number 3, Louis Armstrong International Airport. Number 4, Bill and Hillary Clinton International Airport. Number 5, Jose Marti International Airport. Number 6, Pope John Paul II International Airport. Number 7, Antonio Carlos Jobim International Airport. Number 8, W.K. Kellogg Airport. Number 9, Frederick Chopin Airport. And number 10, Toussaint Louverture International Airport.
Great. We will think about these as we listen to these messages, unless you're on Patreon.
We get it. Distractions happen. That's why we designed the fully electric, full-sized Volvo EX90 with the latest technology to keep you and those around you safe. Its 2-sensor driver understanding system is designed to prevent distractions and help you stay focused. Reserve your Volvo EX90 today. Learn more at volvocars.com/US.
This episode is brought to you by the Inspire Collection by Kalia. You shouldn't settle for just any old pair of leggings. You deserve something better, something designed with you in mind, like the new Inspire leggings by Kalia. Their most versatile collection yet, made for any workout. They're lightweight, buttery soft, breathable, and made with Lycra adaptive fiber, which molds to your body for a barely there supportive fit. It's perfect for wherever your wellness routine takes you. Shop the Inspire Collection by Kalia now, exclusively at Dick's Sporting Goods.
All the answers are locked in from the swing round. So let's hear those airports one more time, Alex, and we'll give our answers.
Sure. Starting with number 1, Ben Gurion International Airport.
I thought maybe this was Jerusalem.
Yeah, I know this is Israel's big international airport, but I don't know where it is. But we also said Jerusalem.
Right country, wrong city. This is the other big city in Israel, Tel Aviv. Cool. Moving on to question number 2, John Lennon Airport.
We might have the same problem with this one, but we were between London and Liverpool and guessed Liverpool.
Yep, I knew this one right away. It's Liverpool.
Yeah, it's where the Beatles are from. It is Liverpool. Of course, the big one in London is Heathrow. Number 3, Louis Armstrong International Airport.
We thought this might be New Orleans.
Yeah, Neil and I locked in on New Orleans very quickly.
Yep, it is New Orleans. Number 4 is Bill and Hillary Clinton International Airport.
Given their history in Arkansas, we said Little Rock.
Yeah, we said what Jane Johnson was before he became The Rock, Little Rock.
Yep, both know that one. It is Little Rock, Arkansas. Question number 5, Jose Marti International Airport.
I think we weren't familiar with this figure, so we said Bogota.
Yeah, we think this is where half of Ken's heart is. We said Havana.
Yes, he was a philosopher and poet from Cuba, and this is in Havana, Cuba.
Uh-oh.
Question number 16, Pope John Paul II International Airport.
We went with Warsaw for this famous Polish pope.
Yep, so we had considered Warsaw, knowing he was Polish, but thought that might have already been named, given he's more of a contemporary figure, so we said Krakow.
Yep, one team getting credit for this one. He is in Krakow, Poland. Question number 7, Antonio Carlos Jobim International Airport.
We said Havana for this one, so guessing it's wrong.
Yep, he is Brazilian, so we said Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, he is probably one of the greatest Brazilian composers of all times. And yes, this was Rio de Janeiro. Question number 18, W.K. Kellogg Airport.
We just took a stab and said Kansas City.
Happen to know Kellogg is famous for being a Michigander from Battle Creek, so we guess Battle Creek.
Yep, this is the...
that.
Well, I worked in Battle Creek once. He's been there, though. Yeah.
Literal months of my life in that state.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
For those of you who don't know, Battle Creek is the cereal capital of America, and that's where Kellogg of the Kellogg brand established headquarters. So Battle Creek, Michigan.
And a failed pilot from the creator of Breaking Bad.
And he was trying to get people to stop masturbating, and he failed at that, too.
Yeah, he was not a great guy. Look him up.
What was that him or was that Graham, the guy who invented the graham cracker?
Yeah, they were
With
both.
our powers combined, you will not touch yourself.
Yeah, if you want to see a very weird movie that's of its time, watch The Road to Wellville with Anthony Hopkins and Matthew Broderick. It's a very strange movie, but it's about that. Yeah, about cereal and about not touching yourself.
Cereal and cereal masturbation.
That's right, exactly. That was the tagline.
Okay, I literally wrote a note. I have to look into that now. Question number 19, Frederick Chopin Airport.
We weren't 100% sure where Chopin is from, but we said Budapest.
This is the one that took Warsaw for us.
Yeah, you're right. It was mentioned earlier, but yes, Chopin was Polish, and Chopin Airport is in Warsaw. And number 20, Toussaint Louverture International Airport.
We said Port-au-Prince.
Yeah, I know this is Haiti, so we guess Port-au-Prince.
Yeah, I wrote this a few weeks ago, and of course, this airport is currently in the news recently with everything going on in Haiti, but yes, it is Port-au-Prince.
It's 20 measly points, my friend.
All right, so two-man band picking up 20 points, bringing their total to 60. And over here at DeJeff mode, that round was really DeJeff mode for the most part. We picked up 45 points, bringing our total to 105.
Cool. Moving on to the first question of the second round. Sports. Golf enthusiasts know that the 11th, 12th, and first two shots of the 13th hole of the Augusta National Golf Club are commonly referred to by what informal spiritual name? Although its name comes from a 1930s jazz single, it also shares its name with the title of a song off Opeth's 1998 album, My Arms, Your Hearse. I had to put that in there. I'm sorry.
Oh, why couldn't it be off Damnation?
Why couldn't it be off of... what's the one that I like? Watershed.
Yeah, Watershed.
Okay, Jeff, looks like you wrote something down. I'm just going to be in agreement because I don't know too much about golf. So we're gonna be
Neither
here
does Jeff. He locked in on the Opeth.
on the
clue.
Opeth song.
So good for him. I do love me some Opeth, but I don't know the song title. What about something like God Hand?
I don't know. That'd be the Holy Trinity because it sounds like it's 4 things. And Take 5 is 5 things. And Mac the Knife is something. It's nothing. A jazz
Look, you're naming
single, I
actual
just
jazz
think-
standards, so as a music teacher, I am happy.
No, I'm a saxophone player. I told you I'm Jeff. I'm just parallel universe Jeff.
Mel's got many hidden talents that we're learning about today.
She can save your
They're
life,
not,
and she can
they're
play
all
you a
like-
standard.
All right, let's go with God Hand.
I like the God Hand. Initially, Jeff wrote the informal spiritual name for my 3 holes, but Jeff, I think we have a better answer.
Ken was channeling a different Opeth song over there, Hope Leaves. We said the Amen Corner.
I'm actually kind of surprised you got it off the Opeth clue, but yes, it is the Amen Corner.
Wow.
It's a cool name. God Hand is cool, though, too. That could also be a great thing in poker. Like, whatever. I guess that would be like the...
Royal Flush.
Royal Flush, right? That'd be the God Hand.
Question number 2 of the second round, before and after. I'm sure I don't have to explain how those work. So, number 2, before and after. A fast food chain who had to change their name to Hungry Jack's in Australia due to legal reasons runs a promotion with a wrestler who had a Chicago-based sitcom family named in his honor. I was not anticipating an Australian to be on the show.
Well, Hungry Jack's is our Burger King.
Yes, I got that far.
Yeah.
And then a wrestling that starts wrestler that starts with King.
King, or maybe ends in burger. What's the chances? King someone. Chicago-based sitcom family.
King Winslow?
Oh,
Is that a wrestler?
I don't know. I like the Winslows. Who else is Chicago?
Bundy? King Bundy sounds more like a wrestler than King Winslow.
It does. Yeah, I agree.
Let's go with King Bundy. Burger
All
King
right.
Bundy.
Burger King Bundy.
Very close, very close. Well, Mel is an honorary Chicagoan now because I sent her a Chicago Bears hat. So speaking of that song Jeff was referencing, Hope Leaves, now she can enjoy all the hope that leaves all the Chicago Bears fans every Sunday. But you were very close. We said Burger King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, they named the family on Married with Children after him. It is Burger King Kong Bundy.
Mel, I have no words. I have nothing to say.
Maybe we should give
it's
him
not going well.
5 points, Jeff, because they were pretty close.
No,
No,
we'll
we
just
didn't need
get
to
the
pity
rest
points.
correct. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll kill it. We're good.
So question number 3, music. Originating in the late 1980s, what subgenre of indie rock got its unusual name after a critic noticed multiple guitarists' tendencies to stare at their pedal boards while performing?
It's finally my Slumdog Millionaire moment. These guys have been Slumdog Millionaires this whole game. It's finally my Slumdog moment, so we're locked in.
Millionaire. Subgenre of indie rock. Is this shoegazy?
Oh, it's got to be shoegaze.
Because Ken loves talking about shoegazy.
It's
Any chance he
got
got.
to be shoegaze.
I
Staring at your feet?
I always hear him talking about it, so let's lock it in.
I'm in a shoegaze band, so shoegazing.
Yeah, it is shoegazing. I was kind of curious how it got its name, and apparently that's how it did.
It's funny. I'm really glad you wrote this question because I had never looked it up, and I hear Ken talking about it all the time. And I'm like, there's no way it's just from like looking at your shoes, and I'm glad you confirmed it. So good.
It's actually pronounced shugazi.
I mean, apparently it is. Question number 4, literature. Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas stemmed from the author going to the titular city to write a report for what magazine, which was first published in 1964 and is currently ranked as the 6th most popular magazine in the United States.
All right, Jeff, we wrote down the same thing. I know our concern is that maybe it's a little on the nose, but it seems right, so we're going to lock it in.
Them saying it's on the nose, I wonder if they're going with High Times. Is that...
That's my first thought.
Is Playboy earlier than 64?
Playboy sounds like could be the right time. I can't think of anything past Rolling Stone. But I think that's too early for Rolling Stone, maybe.
Yeah, Playboy kind of feels right to me.
I feel like that is ringing a bell. Yeah.
All right, we'll go Playboy.
All right, Ken's going Playboy in his smoking jacket. Yeah, we thought, Americana, they have some hard-hitting stories sometimes. We said Rolling Stone.
Ooh, no points for this one. It might have helped out if you knew that the original reason he went to Las Vegas was to cover the Mint 500, which was a desert race. This was actually for Sports Illustrated.
Wow. Okay.
Question number 5 in the second half is celebrities. Although it's mostly remembered for Alicia Silverstone getting her navel pierced, the music video for Aerosmith's 1993 song Crying features a then unknown Josh Holloway, best known for playing James Ford on what TV series?
We can lock in.
Yes, the then unknown Josh Holloway, not the currently unknown.
Yeah, and just the audible noise I made was I knew what he was talking about. Because I was like, oh yeah, I know that video. Anyway.
Of course you do.
It's like the most played on MTV back then.
I can't get Lost out of my head. Sawyer. Sawyer's actually is not his name. His name isn't Sawyer. It might be Ford. In Lost?
Oh,
ring a bell?
You want to go with Lost?
I don't know. Maybe.
That's fine with me.
Have we got anything?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think in Lost, James Sawyer, the character Sawyer, his name isn't actually Sawyer. He wasn't born that. It might be Ford. So I think
you're
Lost,
saying Lost?
if we don't have anything else.
That's a great guess. I love it.
Yeah. Wishing Matt were here. He'd love this question. Pretty sure that you are correct, right, Neal? This would be Sawyer.
Yeah, this is
from
Lost. Yeah.
All right, so I can picture the guy.
Yeah, you're both correct. I've never actually seen this show, but yes, it is Lost.
Awesome. Well, I feel like, Ken, you said you feel like you've seen him before, and my guess is from Mission Impossible when Léa Seydoux shoots him down, probably.
Yes.
After 5 questions in the second round, it looks like Two-Man Band picking up 20 points, bringing their total to 80, and the Jeff Mode picking up 40 points, bringing their total to 145.
Moving on to question number 6, classical music. In Western classical music, which of the following eras came last? And for a bonus point, put all 5 eras in chronological order. Renaissance, Baroque, Classical, Romantic, and Medieval.
All right, Mel. I think this one's in my wheelhouse. But did you have any initial ideas?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident that Romantic is the last one.
I agree with you
most
there.
recent. Yeah, before that was
there, yeah.
Classical. I think Medieval might be the oldest, and I think Renaissance was the rebirth. So I don't know if it goes Medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, Classical, Romantic, or Medieval, Baroque, Renaissance, Classical, Romantic.
The first one is what? The first one is what I had: Medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, Classical, Romance.
Yeah, that's what I've got written down. That sounds good.
Yeah, we had a very similar thought. We went Medieval, Renaissance, Classical, Baroque, Romantic, but we did lock in officially with Romantic as the most recent.
Yeah, so both teams did get the Romantic part correct. It was the most recent. However, in chronological order, the eras are Medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, Classical, and Romantic.
Oh yeah, that bonus point is gonna save our butts, Mel.
100%.
We're back in it.
back in the game, baby.
Moving on to question number 7, which is video games. Grand Theft Auto Vice City was one of the highest selling games on the PlayStation 2. The game's protagonist, Tommy Vercetti, is voiced by what Emmy Award-winning actor known for his roles in Texas Rising, Marriage Story, and Something Wild?
I think we can lock in on this one, Mel.
I'm trying to think of who else was in Marriage Story.
Aside, was Michael Imperioli in there?
Oh, maybe. Is he like a lawyer in that or something?
I don't know. The only reason I think of him is because he was on Sopranos.
Yeah.
And that was very popular about the same time. He would have been.
Yeah, that would have been a big deal. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of Shea Wiggum, but I don't think it's Shea Wiggum. But
that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think it's funny, but I don't.
But no, I like your answer, Imperioli. Do you want to? Let's go with that.
Okay.
I'm glad Shea Wiggum's becoming like a household name now.
I know.
Great character.
He's great. Yeah.
I think this man, as long as he could remember, he always wanted to be a voiceover actor. So we're gonna say Ray Liotta.
Oh, that was my other.
Yeah, although I love Michael Imperioli in This Fool, this was in fact Ray Liotta. I had no idea until I looked this up recently.
That was my bad, Jeff. I was
totally
gonna
forgot he did that.
I was gonna say Ray Liotta, but when you said Imperioli, I'm like, oh, that like makes a lot more sense. But I should have just said Liotta too. That's okay.
Question number 8 is awards. The Clio Award was created to honor innovation and excellence in 3 categories, although one of the 3 often comes to people's minds when they hear the name. Since 2015, they have given out a special award each February to honor innovators in what super specific field?
Maybe it could be something to do with music, because Alex has presented us with a music-heavy game here, given his background. Maybe it's...
I think Cleo was a muse, wasn't she? I don't know if it's named after something else.
Yeah, so maybe it's like music engineering or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty specific.
Okay, let's go with that.
What was the name of that psychic that used to be on TV really late at night?
Miss Cleo.
It was Miss Cleo. Okay. All right. So
is she predicting that we're going to get the question wrong?
Sorry, child, you're wrong. We said advertising.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Achievement in advertising and design.
Even more
specific.
What aspect of advertising?
Commercials.
Can you be more specific?
Super Bowl commercials.
There we go. We got it.
Okay.
Yes, the Super Clio was for Super Bowl commercials. Like the, I know a few years ago they gave out the award for the Bud Light and Game of Thrones crossover. This year it was the Michael Cera commercial for CeraVe.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Question number 9, technology. In February of this year, Google rebranded their AI program. What is the new name of their program, which is also the 3rd sign in the modern zodiac? And for a bonus point, what was the former name of the program, which was introduced as a subclass in the 2nd edition of Dungeons & Dragons before becoming its own class in 3rd edition onward?
All right, the boys across from me are locked in, Mel, so do you have any idea on either of these off the bat?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Oh, great.
I know that the zodiac starts from Aries, and that would make Gemini the 3rd sign, which is me.
That's a great name for an AI, too.
It's a great name for AI, I agree. And I've played 1 campaign of D&D, so I cannot help you there.
I'm thinking maybe it would be good to call your AI Bard, so maybe let's go Bard.
All right, good.
I can't believe you're also a Gemini.
Twinsies.
Yep. And we said Gemini, and we also said Bard, figuring that would be a great name for a generative AI.
And yes, both of you are correct. It is currently called Gemini and was formerly called Bard.
Nice.
That brings us to the last question of the second round, and the category is famous names. What person who died in 1977 is name dropped in the lyrics of the following songs? Man on the Moon by R.E.M., Without Me by Eminem, Fight the Power by Public Enemy, and That Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain.
Brad Pitt?
Died in 77?
I think it's
born in 77.
I know this one.
You know this one, Mel?
I think so.
All right, the boys are locked in. You said you had a good idea on this one.
I think so. I think for me, 1977 is Star Wars and Annie Hall and the death of Elvis Presley. I'm pretty sure it's Elvis. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Tell me, are you goofing on Elvis? Hey, baby. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we went the Fight the Power angle. Yeah, pretty sure they talk about Elvis in Fight the Power, so that's what we locked in with.
Yeah, both of you got it. This was Elvis Presley.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the second round.
All right, at the end of regulation, it looks like two-man band picking up 42 points, bringing their total to 122. And over here at Jeff mode, we're picking up 31 points, bringing our total to 176. Before we hear the categories from Alex, just wanted to remind everyone once more about Patreon. If you'd like to join us, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And yeah, we're really excited about all the new things that we're doing. We get a chance to write our own games once a week and release those to you. They're a little bit more niche in our own subjects, which is great. Jeff did one on woodworking, and what was the other one you just did recently?
Yeah, I did one that was all about the scientific units.
Scientific units.
But it was kind of like a parody on that.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be more lighthearted.
Categories.
Yeah. So you
There's
get
categories.
scientific units. So we'll have to see what Jeff's going to have in store for your next Patreon bonus. But yeah, you get 3 of those plus a
Who knows?
Plus a crop
I
drop.
don't know.
You don't know. But yeah, we get all those plus 60 or so hours of extra content. But as we keep saying, more importantly, you don't have to hear us yammer about it on your main feed episodes. So if you'd like to get rid of this, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast and get all of your episodes early and ad-free.
On to the final round. Why don't you go ahead and let us know what those 5 categories will be?
Sure. So once again, I just named them after 5 albums I like. Question number 1 is Surgical Steel. Question number 2, Diamond-Eyes. Question number 3, From Beer to Eternity. Question number 4, Two Hunters. And question number 5, The Satanist.
All right, we're going to go 20s all the way down on this one and keep a couple points in our pocket.
Yeah, I wanted to go a little conservative, but Jeff said to push the chips in, so we're going to go all in and see what happens.
Question number 1, Surgical Steel. Medical grade 316 stainless steel is an alloy made of iron chromium, molybdenum, and what other element? It has the atomic number 28 and gets its name from a mischievous sprite found in German folklore. Question number 2, Diamond-Eyes. Many people have been suckered in by the claim that a person should buy an engagement ring that is worth 3 times their salary when proposing. This is actually a 1930s marketing campaign created by what company, whose control of the world diamond supply was at 63% by the year 2000? Question number 3, From Beer to Eternity. After Ministry announced their 2013 album would be titled From Beer to Eternity, many people were quick to criticize the album's title. The band jokingly announced that they would rename their album Whole Lotta Glove after one critic compared it to the fictional album Smell the Glove in what 1984 movie? A sequel to this movie is currently in production. Question number 4, Two Hunters. 2 of the most well-known hunters in Greek mythology are Artemis and Orion. Although there is some variation to this myth, it is commonly said that Apollo, disapproving of his sister's relationship with Orion, sent what type of animal to ultimately kill him? The constellation of this creature sits just by the foot of the constellation of Orion. And question number 5, The Satanist. Tony Cavallero is best known for playing ex-Satanist Keith Chambers in HBO's The Righteous Gemstones. Cavallero also played a guru helping people find ball ants in an ad campaign for what brand, which went viral for a notorious 2010 commercial starring Michael Jordan.
All right, we have our questions. We'll be right back and see who will be today's cream of the crop.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is,
"Thank you for calling. Please listen to your list of 46 possible service options."
Which is why when you choose USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable. 24/7 online service for claims, access to roadside assistance, and more. All at the touch of a button. Start getting the service you deserve. Get a quote today. Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
All aboard! Welcome to the Friskies Express. Please keep all paws and tails inside the train. To the right, you'll see Crunch Canyon. To your left is Filet Falls. Now you're passing Party Mix Peak. Today's Delicioso tour is almost over. But don't worry, with Friskies, there's always more to explore. Check out friskies.com to explore more.
And we are back. Hopefully we have some correct answers here in the final round, but let's find out. Alex, what were those questions one more time?
Question number 1, Surgical Steel. Medical grade 316 stainless steel is an alloy made from iron, chromium, molybdenum, and what other element? It has atomic number 28 and gets its name from a mischievous sprite found in German folklore.
Go ahead and take this one, Mel.
Yeah, so I just had in the back of my mind that there's a sprite in German folklore that starts with a K. I don't think it's Krypton. So we're thinking maybe potassium, whose symbol is a K, maybe that stands for something. But having just gone through the first 20 elements, I realized potassium's like number 19. So probably not going to be the answer.
I thought the sprite in German folklore was Fanta.
Hair Fanta.
Yeah, I don't know many sprites outside of my Coke products, but I'm pretty sure this is nickel.
Yeah, the old mischievous sprite's name was Old Nick, and yes, it was Nickel that was named after him. Question number 2 is Diamond-Eyes. Many people have been suckered in by the claim that a person should buy an engagement ring that is worth 3 times their monthly salary when proposing. This is actually a 1930s marketing campaign created by what company, whose control of the world diamond supply was at 63% by the year 2000?
We're saying De Beers.
That's not 60%. Yeah, we think Mel's got the hat, like I mentioned earlier, like De Beers, but we're going to say De Beers for this answer.
But yes, this is De Beers. Question number 3 from Beer to Eternity. After Ministry announced their 2013 album would be titled From Beer to Eternity, many people were quick to criticize the album's title. The band jokingly announced that they would rename the album Whole Lotta Glove after one critic compared it to the fictional album Smell the Glove, featured in what 1984 movie? A sequel to this movie is currently in production.
Yeah, we went Smell the Glove. This is Spinal Tap.
We agree. This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I had no idea they were filming a sequel to this currently, but yes, this is Spinal Tap is the answer. Question number 4 is 2 hunters. 2 of the most well-known hunters in Greek mythology are Artemis and Orion. Although there is some variation to this myth, it is commonly said that Apollo, disapproving of his sister's relationship with Orion, sent what type of animal to ultimately kill him? The constellation of this creature sits just by the foot of the constellation of Orion.
We believe this is a lion.
Yeah, we had no idea. We thought it's very mythological to send a snake after someone. Maybe it bites at the Achilles or something. I don't know. So we said snake.
Yes, you're on the right track about it being a creature that would bite his ankle, but this was in fact a scorpion. The constellation of Scorpio actually sits by the foot of Orion.
Oh.
My God.
That makes a lot of sense.
Question number 5, The Satanist. Tony Cavallero is best known for playing ex-Satanist Keith Chambers in HBO's The Righteous Gemstones. Cavallero played a guru helping people find ball ants in an ad campaign for what brand, which went viral for a notorious 2010 commercial starring Michael Jordan.
Well, we just said Nike because we know Jordan's got the endorsement.
Could be way off on this. I do remember, I want to say it was 2010, but the years just don't make any sense anymore when I think before the pandemic. But I think this was the ad maybe where he went viral because of his mustache, because it looked like Hitler's mustache. So we said Hanes.
Yes, you're right. This is the one with the... I might have gotten some people with the ball thinking it had to do with basketball, but that's literally what Ballance was about. This was a campaign for Hanes underwear.
Oh, that's right. The ball. Yeah, right. The ball ants. Yeah, it makes sense. Because it was on a plane, I think. He was on a plane talking to some dude, and everyone's like, oh my God, look at his mustache. But yeah, okay. The scores are in. The game is over. It looks like Team 2-Man Band is going to end with 102 points, but still commendable, passing the 100 mark. And the Jeff mode is going to be ending with 266 points, making Jeff today's cream of the crop.
On balance, off balance. Doesn't matter. I'm better than you are.
Well done, guys. I'm sorry we couldn't pull out the W today, Mel, but what a great teammate you've been.
Oh, so fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of
Really
course.
good.
Thank you so much for being here. And I'm happy that your character box from Patreon came through okay, and we hope you enjoy all that stuff. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go today?
Yeah, sure. I will shout out my sister in Denmark, Cookie, and my kids, Oscar and Frankie, and my mum, who will definitely listen to this, Debbie. And that's about it. And my husband, Alex. Sure.
There you go.
He can have one too.
Well, great shout outs. Thank you for being here. And Alex, awesome game again. Wonderfully written questions. A lot of cool stuff that we learned today that we didn't know about synthwave and all that other, and Gemini
and
Shugaze, yep, and giraffes and everything. But yeah, thank you so much for putting that game together. Any final shout outs for you before we let you go today?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me back. It's always a blast to be here. Do have a few shout outs. First of all, like I said in the opener, if you can, check out my friend Kevin's band, State of Flux, or his solo album, Supernature. Shout out to my trivia co-writers, Matt at Trivia Lab and Justin at Einstein Trivia. If any of you are in the South Florida area near Boca Raton, please go to Wednesday Night Trivia at the Irishman. Also, shout out to some of my former teams from when I was there, such as Whiskey Within, my other friend Matt, who goes by a different name each week, Taming and Paula's You Can't Get Herpes Twice, Quizzing My Pants, Average at Best, What's That Saxophone, and that one team that always changes their name, but the last time I was there, it was It's Raining Cats and Russian Oligarchs.
All right. Good shout outs. That was expertly done. We appreciate it.
Yeah, really good shout outs. And speaking of The Irishman, that trivia, it's at a nice pace. It won't last too long, and there won't be any CGI face changes.
That's good.
Yeah.
One final shout out that we want to give is to Airwave Media, our network. You can find them at airwavemedia.com. Check out other great shows such as A Mindful Moment, History of Egypt, and Wake Me Up.
Wake me up inside.
Thank you. I'm going to do that one every time because I just like doing that.
If only they had the people from Evanescence on the show, I think then it would be epic.
Well, that'll wrap up this episode of Triviality. Once again, thanks to our guests, Mel and Alex. For Matt, somewhere, Jeff, Neal, and myself, that was Triviality.